really don't care what happens at all. I don't care. Like everybody they tiptoe around with this social media, but what y'all don't get is that it be real consequence for y'all little flexes, y'all quick flexes for $300 that you need. It be constant.
Nobody thought this would happen. Teyana's daughter stepped into that courtroom and said what no one in that room ever expected her to say. Iman, the same man who's always the loudest voice in the room, the one who shuts rumors down with a single post, sat there frozen, eyes fixed forward like he didn't even know where he was for a second. The courtroom, usually buzzing with whispers and shifting feet, fell completely silent when she opened her mouth. Every word she spoke felt like it cracked the walls open wider, letting secrets spill out that had been buried under family photos and polished statements for too long. This wasn't the usual messy drama people gossip about online. This was betrayal unfolding, raw and live, under oath where nobody could twist it later. And if you think it ended with her stepping down, you're wrong. Because what she revealed might flip this entire case inside out before anyone's ready. People who were there swear you could have heard a pin drop when Teyana's daughter stood up from that bench. No lawyers by her side, no shaky voice, just a calm kid ready to speak on what she'd seen when the cameras were off. Nobody expected her to say more than a few yes or no lines, maybe confirm a date, then step down. But she didn't just stand there. She spoke for over 10 minutes straight, her eyes locked on her father like she'd been waiting her whole life to say it. Witnesses say she pointed right at Iman and said, "You know what you did. Stop acting like you don't." The air went heavy then. People shifted in their seats. Reporters scribbled like their pens were on fire, but Iman didn't move a muscle. He just sat there, his jaw clenched so tight you could see it from the back row. Teyana didn't flinch either. She leaned back, arms crossed, letting her daughter's voice ring out while lawyers on Iman's side scrambled to object, to interrupt, to shut it down before it went too far. Some say the judge had to bang the gavel 3 times just to calm the chaos, whispers turning to gasps, people realizing this wasn't just another custody hearing anymore. By the time that girl stepped down, the whole mood had flipped. The story that was supposed to be about Teyana and Iman tearing each other apart was now about a kid who refused to stay quiet while grown-ups kept pretending. For years, Teyana and Iman sold the world on perfect, matching holiday pajamas, birthday cakes too pretty to eat, interview soundbites about forever. But the people closest to them always knew what those smiles cost behind closed doors. Fights that rattled windows when the cameras left, slammed doors, cold nights that stretched into cold weeks. Some say the daughter's words only confirmed what people whispered for years but were too afraid to say out loud, that Iman's carefully polished version of fatherhood was only half the story, and the ugliest parts were buried deep under filters and PR statements. Friends close to Teyana claim she always told her daughter, "Don't lie to protect grown folks. Say what's real, even if your voice shakes." And that day in court, her voice didn't shake at all. Of course, Iman's side was quick to call it manipulation, saying Teyana fed her lines, twisted her words. But people who know her say she's old enough now to know what she saw, what she felt, and what she refused to bury just to keep up a fake image. Online, the theories are wildfire. Some swear Teyana planned this moment. Others think the daughter went off script and blew the lid off secrets her parents prayed would stay locked forever. Either way, whatever picture-perfect family brand they sold just crumbled on the courtroom floor. And no one's sure how Iman plans to sweep the pieces back together now. Iman has always been the loudest one in the room, the first to clap back when blogs start buzzing, the one to fire off a live rant when fans dare question his version. But when his daughter's eyes locked onto his and she said those words, "You know what you did," the fire left him. Some in the room swear they saw him flinch like she'd hit him square in the chest. A man who'd shouted down reporters, dragged ex-friends on live streams, stood up for his name every single time, suddenly stuck to that wooden chair like it was the only thing keeping him from falling through the floor. He didn't stand up. He didn't throw his hands or slam his fist on the table. He just sat there, eyes locked on the floor while his lawyer leaned over and whispered so hard their shoulders touched. But the damage was done. The silence said more than any meltdown ever could. That hush is everywhere now, frozen in screenshots, turned into memes with savage captions that make the rounds faster than any of his clapbacks ever did. Insiders say that silence means he knows there's more she could say, that one slip could push her to spill it all, no filter, no spin. For a man who built his name on always having the last word, that hush is louder than any shout he's ever thrown at a camera. When the judge called a break, the lawyers didn't even wait to breathe. Iman's team filed motion after motion, trying to strike parts of her testimony like they were plucking thorns out of a dying rose. But Teyana's team stood firm. They argued truth is truth, and the courtroom's the only place it should come out, no matter how bad it looks on paper. Some family members didn't even stick around. They dipped out a side door while reporters called their names, refusing to look back at cameras flashing in their faces. Old family friends are picking sides out loud now, dropping sly comments on old posts, liking shady tweets that make their loyalty clear without saying a word. Rumors say Iman might have to take the stand next, something he's dodged for months behind a wall of carefully worded statements and lawyer talk. But if he does, people are betting the calm won't hold, that silence might turn into fireworks nobody can contain. Insiders say this courtroom is far from done shaking. Whispers about sealed DMs, maybe secret recordings, bombshells waiting behind closed folders that lawyers keep close to their chests. If the daughter talks again, everyone knows this family's perfect story is about to shatter into pieces nobody will be able to sweep up. The second clips of her statement hit the internet. It was like someone dropped gasoline on a fire already burning slow. Social media lit up in minutes. The hashtags trended worldwide before the judge's gavel even cooled. Half the people cheering her on, calling her brave for standing up to grown-ups who'd spent years telling her to keep quiet. They call her the only honest one in a room full of people trying to protect their brands instead of their blood. But the other half's not buying it, saying Teyana used her as a pawn, feeding her just enough pain to weaponize her words when it mattered most. Meme pages went savage quick, freezing Iman's blank stare, pairing it with lines like, "When your secrets forget how to stay secret," and spreading it across feeds faster than any PR spin could bury it. Old interviews are crawling back from the dead, fans picking apart every stiff family photo, every awkward laugh for signs they all saw this coming but didn't want to admit. Everyone's asking the same question now: what else does this kid know? And when is she gonna spill it? Because one truth's clear: nobody's looking at Iman, Teyana, or their fairytale family the same way ever again. Now the million-dollar question hangs in the air: what happens next? Everyone's watching, but no one knows for sure. Behind the scenes, sources say Iman's team is in full-blown crisis mode. Meetings are being held in private rooms, legal advisors are weighing every possible angle, and the pressure is mounting by the hour. They are faced with three choices: keep swinging back and risk more damage, settle everything quietly before it explodes, or drop some kind of major PR bomb that flips the whole story on its head. It's a dangerous balancing act, and any misstep could make things even worse. There are murmurs that Teyana's daughter isn't done yet. Her last words already cracked open a door people didn't expect to ever open, but those close to her say there's more, and that what's coming next might be even more painful for Iman than anything that's been said so far. She's not just calling him out, she's challenging the image he's spent years carefully building. And if she goes there again, the blow might not just be personal, it could damage his public persona beyond repair. Lawyers on both sides are reportedly whispering about sealed evidence. Nothing confirmed yet, but there's talk of private messages, old emails, maybe even shaky voice notes and videos captured on forgotten phones. It's the kind of material that could back up every claim that's been floating around, evidence that could turn rumors into hard proof in a matter of minutes. If any of it surfaces, the story shifts entirely. What was once he said, she said could suddenly become black and white. Iman's loyal fan base is starting to crack. Some are still standing by him, defending him in every comment thread, refusing to believe he could be the villain in this story. But others are going quiet, stepping back, unsure of what to believe anymore. They are waiting to see if the next twist finally forces them to accept that maybe they didn't know him like they thought. That maybe the version of him they loved wasn't real. Teyana's side isn't saying much, but they don't seem worried. The silence coming from her camp doesn't feel scared, it feels confident. Like they believe the truth is unfolding on its own now, without needing to shout it. Quiet smiles, small gestures, a kind of calm that suggests they know what's coming next, and they are not afraid of it. Everything could shift with one ruling. The judge's next move might unseal files that have been kept hidden, and once they are out, there's no going back. What was private could become viral in hours. A sealed document, an old photo, a recorded call. Any of it could be the final crack that makes the whole thing collapse. No matter how this ends, one thing is certain: The picture-perfect family everyone used to admire is gone. What's left is a tangled mess of broken trust, harsh truths, and the bold voice of a young woman brave enough to speak. And in the end, her words might be the ones that change everything. So tell me this, who do you believe now? Teyana, who's been painted the villain for too long? Iman, who says he's the victim of lies? Or the daughter who stepped up, spoke out, and shattered the story grown-ups fought to keep clean? Drop your wildest theory down below. What secrets are still buried? Who's covering what? And what you think she'll reveal next if they push her too far? Hit that like if you're here for every leaked screenshot, every tear-stained voice note, every courtroom twist before the internet spins it into something else. And if you haven't hit that subscribe yet, fix that right now, because this family's mess is nowhere near done unraveling, and you'll want front row seats when the next piece blows the whole thing apart. This wasn't just a testimony, this was betrayal, raw and live, from the one voice nobody saw coming. Stay tuned, because when Iman finally breaks his silence, it might not just break hearts. It might break him too.